So many researchers remind us that exploring the wider natural environment is not just enriching, but it's also essential for learning and development. Being outdoors is a very different experience to learning indoors. The moment we step outside, we open ourselves up to what's around us. New questions and new insights emerge. Our senses sharpen, our thinking expands, and we find ourselves part of a much larger biological and ecological system. Outdoor spaces are alive, so they're ever changing, and that means that they're offering us spontaneous learning opportunities. They invite longer and deeper conversations, so all those why, what ifs questions, and often questions that we don't have within our indoor environments. Nature also gives children the opportunity to engage and exercise their agency, so they can plan, they can take part, they can collaborate in ways which will help to build their confidence and independence. And then I suppose our observant early childhood teachers and inclusion coordinators then notice these moments, interpret what they mean for each child, and then they respond in a way that nurtures growth and strengthens the agency of the child. So tonight's webinar is designed to offer you practical strategies, fresh perspectives and ideas to foster a pedagogy of nature within your setting. So as we journey through this evening's presentation, let's reflect on how we can create and protect a rich outdoor learning experience, spaces where every child can be seen, be included and supported to thrive. So with that, I am going to hand over to the lovely Linda Madden.
Thanks, Claire, very much. Hello, everyone, and you're all very welcome to our LINC webinar. As Claire said, rooted in nature, embracing a pedagogy of nature. And it's wonderful, really, to see so many of you here this evening with us. My name is Linda Madden, and I am really excited to present this webinar tonight with my colleagues Kathleen and Anne. I'm really passionate about the learning that takes place for children through nature, and I suppose I've really experienced this myself as an educator in my own setting. So many of the images that you will see tonight in the webinar are from my own setting, which was based in an estate in the middle of a town, so everything and anything is possible. So you might be asking, why a pedagogy of nature? Tonight, we will explore what it truly means to root education in nature and not just play outside, but to learn with, from, and through the natural world. Our pedagogy, it's how we teach. And over the next hour, we're going to reframe our thinking and shift the focus from outdoor play to a pedagogy of nature. We recognise that nature is more than a space to run and explore. It's a real active partner in learning. It shapes how children think, explore, and engage with the world around them. By embracing this approach, we can nurture curiosity, creativity, and a deep connection to nature from the earliest years. We really hope that this webinar inspires you, challenges your thinking, and provides practical examples to enhance a pedagogy of nature in your practice. So let's begin by defining a pedagogy of nature. Warden, in 2021, describes a pedagogy of nature as an approach to teaching and learning in early childhood education that places nature at its heart. It is an educational philosophy that nurtures ecological awareness, a sense of belonging, empathy, and a commitment to sustainability. Pedagogy is about how we support babies, toddlers, and young children's development and learning. In practice, this means designing environments, planning experiences, and creating opportunities where children are immersed in the natural world. A pedagogy of nature places inclusion at its core, ensuring that every child, regardless of background, ability, or experience, can engage, explore, and thrive in natural environments. Its key features are inclusion at the heart. Every child is recognised as a valued participant, with their unique strengths, needs, and perspectives embraced. Inclusive practices ensure equity, belonging, and opportunities for all children to flourish in nature-based learning. It's rooted in values, sustainability, respect for the natural world, and child-led inquiry are guided by an inclusive lens that honours diverse contributions and supports participation from all children. Nature as a co-teacher. The natural environment becomes an adaptable co-teacher, offering accessible opportunities for every child to wonder, play, and learn in ways that reflect their individuality. Holistic learning for all. Emotional, cognitive, social, and physical growth are nurtured through inclusive experiences in nature, ensuring that each child engages meaningfully and feels part of the group. Promoting connection and community. Relationships with the environment are deepened alongside relationships with each other. Inclusion promotes a sense of shared responsibility, where all children care for nature together within an inclusive community. While the term pedagogy of nature feels current, the idea itself is far from new. As you can see from this slide, going back as far as the 1700s, many of the great theorists in early education recognized the importance of children's relationship with the natural world. For example, Frederick Froebel placed nature at the center of his kindergarten, seeing gardens as spaces for beauty, exploration, and care of the natural world. Johann Pestalozzi saw outdoor play as vital for children's bodies and minds to thrive. Rudolf Steiner embedded social development in the rhythm of the day, the farm, and the seasons. He believed that children should feel part of the natural cycle of the year. Maria Montessori, she advocated bringing the inside out and the outside in, helping children to connect observations of plants and animals with meaningful learning. Their insights continue to shape how we view the importance of play with, from, and through nature. So this evening, we return to what educators have long known, that nature is fundamental to children's growth and learning. A pedagogy of nature, DULRA, that's the Irish word, is strongly aligned with our national frameworks, regulations, and quality standards. Shilta and Ashther both highlight holistic development, identity, belonging, and well-being, all of which are nurtured through nature. The Childcare Early Years Services regulations require safe, supportive environments for children's health, safety, and welfare. First Five strategy promotes play, outdoor exploration, parental involvement, and smooth transitions into nature-connected learning. TUSLA and the Department of Education highlight child-centred, play-rich, inquiry-led learning aligned with the pedagogy of nature. Our TUSLA guidance documents, When the Roof is the Sky, and Keeping Children Safe and Comfortable Indoors and Outdoors in All Weathers, reinforce the value of outdoor environments for well-being, exploration, and learning. Now, we're going to take a look at the benefits of a pedagogy of nature. A pedagogy of nature is inclusive by design, offering open, flexible, and accessible experiences where every child can participate and really feel that they belong. Nature supports curiosity and exploration, allowing the children to engage in ways that are really meaningful to them. In nature, all children can be loud, messy, energetic, and imaginative, testing ideas and experimenting without any limits. Research shows that quality play in natural environments has a profound impact on brain development, laying strong foundations for lifelong learning and growth. This image captures a beautiful moment of connection between two children in my own setting. The child on the left used to find the indoor environment, I suppose, a little bit tricky, particularly free play and joining in with others. He often felt really, really overwhelmed. But outside, everything changed. The freedom to jump in puddles, to make mud pies, and to enjoy messy play really gave him the space to feel relaxed and happy. The outdoors lifted that whole pressure of the noise, the bright lights, and the busy play areas, allowing him to join in with his friends in a way that he felt comfortable. This tea party is a perfect example. Here he is, fully engaged, sharing, laughing, and enjoying the moment with one of his friends. So it's a real reminder of how the right environment can really open the door to confidence, to connection, and to that fun element of play for children. Natural play spaces promote physical development through running, climbing, digging, and swinging, with ample opportunities to adapt experiences for all children's participation. Being outdoors nurtures emotional well-being, helping the children to relax, to regulate their feelings, and to build resilience. Time in nature creates spaces for children to feel safe, to be free, to feel connected, supporting both their individual identity and a real sense of belonging. These benefits highlight nature as a powerful partner in early learning and in inclusion. Embracing a pedagogy of nature means shifting our mindset, seeing nature not as an extra, but as really central to children's learning and development. This means creating environments where nature is not just an occasional activity. It involves planning with intention while also leaving space for spontaneity and discovery. Embracing a pedagogy of nature means recognizing the natural world as an educator in its own right. Ashther encourages us to support children to connect with Dulra and to spend meaningful time outdoors, while also encouraging a sense of Omos Ocha, which is value of place, by being fully present in nature. As this slide illustrates, the educator's role is to be attentive and responsive, carefully noticing, listening, and engaging with children's interests. At times, this involves stepping back to allow space for discovery and self-directed exploration. And at other times, this requires stepping in, offering prompts, language, tools, or maybe strategies that extend learning and ensure it is accessible to all. You may also be the inclusion coordinator, the INCO, in your setting. As INCO, you play a pivotal role in embedding a pedagogy of nature. By leading the development of an inclusive culture, you help ensure that every child can participate meaningfully in outdoor and nature-based learning. So, what does this look like in practice? It might mean adapting a natural play space so that every child can take part, or maybe offering prompts or provocations that spark curiosity, or maybe creating quiet spaces for children to self-regulate. It can also involve collaborating with the children and colleagues to plan inclusive, nature-based experiences. One way that this can be achieved is by establishing a planting area where children can grow fruit, vegetables, and herbs. Through this experience, children not only gain a practical understanding of how food grows, but also they develop an appreciation of the food cycle, from planting seeds to enjoying a meal together. The children learn that the vegetables actually grow on the ground. They don't just come from the supermarket. The educator can support this by encouraging the children to investigate and to classify the different names, the flavors, and the textures of the produce that they grow. These activities naturally lead into shared cooking experiences, such as making soup. where the children can be guided to wash, to chop safely, and to stir the ingredients while reflecting on the journey from garden to plate. In our own setting, we invested in an insulated pump flask to keep the soup warm, so the children had access to it outdoors, particularly during the cold weather. Nature offers rich sensory experiences that support inclusion, giving every child a way to engage, regardless of their ability or their communication style. Children might pick wild flowers, jump in puddles, or explore in a mud kitchen, developing physical skills like scooping, pouring, and balancing, while building confidence with new textures and sensations. These shared experiences also promote social connection and belonging. Playing with bubbles is a fun activity for children, sparking wonder as they watch the magical shapes float and pop. Beyond the fun, bubble play provides opportunities for developing early speech and language, hand-eye coordination, and encourages motor skills. Using bubbles for art, such as blowing coloured bubbles onto paper, is an exciting, hands-on way to explore colours and patterns. Painting outdoors is a great way to connect children with nature. Using paints, brushes, paper, or natural materials like leaves and sticks, children respond creatively to their environment. The sights, colours, and textures of nature inspire observation and curiosity, helping children to notice details they might otherwise miss. As shown on this slide, painting in nature is easy to set up, and attaching the paper to a fence is another alternative to using a table or an easel, and is accessible to all children. Incorporating natural materials adds a sensory dimension and sparks creativity. By modelling sustainable practices, such as reusing collected rainwater, educators nurture children's early awareness of conservation. By collecting rainwater in a barrel or a tank with a safe tap or pump, educators can provide children with hands-on opportunities to explore volume, measurement, and conservation. With the variety of containers, children experiment with filling, pouring, and transferring water, while also learning its practical role in caring for the fruit and the vegetables that they have planted. Water play is such a rich source of joy and discovery. It encourages children to splash, pour, and experiment while developing important physical skills such as lifting, carrying, and squeezing. As they create streams and pools, they explore scientific concepts like cause and effect, flow, and volume, observing how water moves, gathers, and disappears. These images really make me smile. The one on the left reminds me of a day full of fun, laughter, and teamwork. One of the children had an idea to make a lake, sparking a lively discussion about where it should go. How could they make it? What materials would they use? Soon, lots of the children had joined in, and the project became a shared effort. Buckets and containers of all shapes and sizes were carried from the water tank at the top of the garden. Along the way, the children discovered that some of the containers were empty by the time they reached the lake. Leading to some problem-solving conversations about how to stop the water from escaping. The next morning brought another new challenge. The lake had dried up. Rather than giving up, the children worked together to refill it. In the other image, a pretend car wash was set up by the children, turning play into a really cooperative activity where children practice turn-taking, problem-solving, and role-play. At the same time, they begin to understand how to care for things, how to reuse water, and how to use resources wisely. By modelling sustainable practices and emphasizing that every drop counts, educators help children to build a lifelong respect for water as both a source of play and an essential limited resource. Learning in nature offers endless opportunities for exploration and discovery, but children and adults also benefit from moments of calm and rest. Article 31 of the UNCRC recognises the child's right to rest and leisure while engaging in play. Providing a sheltered or a covered space allows children to eat, to rest, or simply just be, giving them a place to regulate their emotions, restore energy, and feel safe in their natural surroundings. For adults, these spaces offer a chance to recharge while remaining attentive and engaged with the children. Open-ended materials, such as wood pieces, pallets, crates, and tires, like those shown here on this slide, have no fixed purpose. They invite children to explore, to create, and to experiment freely, while building meaningful connections with the natural world. A simple plank can become a bridge across a puddle. A crate can be the carriage of a train, and tires can be a place for climbing or for hiding. Working with natural and recycled materials sparks imagination and problem solving, while also developing physical skills such as balancing, stacking, lifting, and moving objects. The educator's role is to observe, offer gentle prompts when needed, and give the children space to lead, encourage an adventurous, self-directed play. This idea of freedom and exploration is beautifully captured on the next slide by Maria Montessori, who reminds us to let children be free in nature. So, just for a moment, we will pause and read and reflect on Maria Montessori's writing. Let the children be free. Encourage them. Let them run outside when it's raining. Let them remove their shoes when they find a puddle of water, and when the grass of the meadows is wet with dew. Let them run on it and trample it with their bare feet. Let them rest peacefully when a tree invites them to sleep beneath its shade. Let them shout and laugh when the sun wakes them in the morning. Maria Montessori also reminds us of the importance of bringing the outdoors inside. By incorporating elements of nature indoors, educators can continue to embrace a pedagogy of nature, allowing children to explore and to learn from the natural world. This approach supports rich, sensory, and playful learning experiences while maintaining children's connection to nature. So we'll just have a look at a few practical ideas. So you might consider creating a seasonal treasures table. So here you create a rotating display of natural materials that reflect the current season. So you'll notice at the moment there's a wealth of vibrant autumn colours all around us. Winter branches might be another idea, spring flowers, so lots of lovely ideas there to create a seasonal treasures table. Storytelling and literacy corners. So you could use logs of seats and put in some baskets of nature books, maybe create some story sacks using natural textures and materials as props for story time. As on this slide here, introduce a light table with natural objects like twigs, leaves, and flowers. Nature sounds and smells. Maybe hang some crystals, some shells, or natural mobiles near windows to catch the sunlight and to create a calming atmosphere. Play recordings of bird songs, ocean waves, or forest sounds, and introduce some calming scents like lavender sprigs or fresh herbs. Using nature viewfinders. This can really help children to identify and name different trees, flowers, and other elements within the environment, supporting their observation skills and knowledge of the natural world. You could also introduce some nature-based activities, such as maybe creating a bird watching station or make some bird feeders with the children. Tough trays and provocations are a simple but really powerful way to bring nature indoors. Provocations work best when they are inspired by the children's own interests. So you're really encouraging the children to lead their play and their investigation. At the same time, as educators, we can gently introduce some new ideas, new materials, or some prompts that ignite curiosity, extend thinking and learning, and encourage experimentation. So some examples maybe of some nature-inspired provocations could be a smell and taste game. So you could use some different herbs, citrus peels, or edible flowers for that real sensory exploration. Ice and nature treasures. So you could freeze some flowers or some leaves, maybe, or small stones into blocks of ice, and then provide the children with the tools to melt, to chip, or to release them. As seen here on this slide, mini landscape worlds. So you could provide the children with sand, moss, stones, shells, little animal figurines for the children to construct habitats or small world play. A nature mystery box. Create a box with an opening for the children to reach inside to guess the natural object. So now, I hope I have ignited your interest in nature and inspired you with some new possibilities. I now invite Kathleen to continue with the rest of the webinar.
Thank you so much, Linda, and especially I think for sharing those really rich practical examples from your own beautiful setting as well. I think it makes just everything that's been said, it's putting it, igniting it, I think, and making it very visual for us. So thank you so much for that. So as you know, we have explored how bringing nature indoors can create rich learning opportunities. Of course, though, working with nature also brings its challenges, like weather, small spaces, or limited resources. So rather than challenges, we can see these as opportunities to think creatively, adapt, and deepen children's connection with nature. So let's look at how we can reframe these challenges. Irish weather, as we know, is often seen as a challenge. We get rain, wind, heat, or cold, and it can make us hesitant to go outside. But each type of weather also brings unique opportunities for learning and discovery. We know rain creates puddles to jump in, wind carries leaves and makes streamers dance. Sunshine reveals shadows and warmth, and cold days invite children to notice frost, ice, and how our bodies respond. So by embracing weather as part of our curriculum, we not only expand children's experiences of the natural world, but we also help them to build resilience, adaptability, and a sense of wonder in every season. Enjoying the outdoors in all weather is only possible when everyone is dressed appropriately. Children and educators both need the right layers: waterproof jackets, trousers, hats, gloves, and warm boots. One practical rule is a few light layers are better than one big heavy coat, as layers help to regulate temperature. TUSLA's guidance document highlights this and the need for suitable outdoor clothing so that everyone stays safe and comfortable, even in unpredictable Irish weather, while supporting continuous play in nature. So on this slide, we show two very practical examples of how children's outdoor clothing can be stored daily to dry out efficiently, ensuring then that wet gear and boots are ready for the next day. And in this second image on the right-hand side, you'll see in Linda's setting how an educator had made a mobile storage trolley for the boots and wet gear. Embracing a pedagogy of nature in all weather only works when both parents and educators understand its value. Clear communication is essential. You can share your ethos around a pedagogy of nature in a parent handbook or during parent information evenings before a child starts in your setting. explaining the benefits of learning in nature, the importance of appropriate clothing, and how safety and comfort are managed in your setting helps to build that trust and support. Buy-in from the team is also equally important. By working together with families and with colleagues, we create a culture where a pedagogy of nature in all weathers becomes a natural and celebrated part of our curriculum. Sometimes we might feel constrained by the size of our outdoor environment, but limited space doesn't mean limited learning. Even in small areas, we can create really rich, meaningful experiences that encourage exploration and connection with nature. Here on this slide, you can see some practical ways to make the most of your outdoor space. For example, installing a farm gate on a fence for climbing. The first photo here is from Linda's setting, which, although based in a town, still created this really rich farm experience. Another example might be to use tires for planting or creating sensory gardens. You could also hang plastic bottles to grow herbs, attaching funnels and pots to walls, allowing for pouring and water play. So with a little creativity, small spaces can offer big opportunities for learning and discovery. Even in small spaces, messy play can be daunting because, yes, we know it gets very messy. But that's the magic of it. Messy play is a powerful, positive, and purposeful way for children to be able to explore, experiment, and to learn. So what we need to do is embrace the mess and make it happen. You might like to consider ways to keep messy play positive and purposeful. You might set up clear boundaries and expectations so that children know where and how they can explore. Here again, we refer to the importance of providing appropriate clothing to keep children comfortable. Create dedicated spaces or trays for messy play activities, which help contain materials and simplifies that cleanup. You might use natural and safe materials, such as sand, water, clay, or shredded leaves, encouraging curiosity and experimentation. Remember, involve children in tidying up, turning cleanup into part of the learning process. So by embracing the mess intentionally, we support children's independence while maintaining a positive and safe learning environment. Even when we embrace messy play and put strategies in place to keep it positive and manageable, another challenge that may arise is limited resources. Sometimes we may think that we don't have enough materials or equipment to support every activity that we envisage. However, we know that with creativity and resourcefulness, we can turn what we do have into rich, engaging experiences for all children. So again, some practical strategies might include repurposing everyday items such as cardboard boxes, paper tubes, jars and trays, and they can become building materials, planters, or sensory containers. Rotate and change the materials as well to keep them fresh and engaging. And as we mentioned earlier, encourage loose parts for play, as natural items like stones, wood, and sand can be used in countless ways. Remember to collaborate and share. Pool resources with your colleagues, other rooms in the setting as well, or with the community. For example, the farming community might donate tires for play. You could invite children to contribute by asking families for recycled materials or nature treasures to expand your resources. You can also reach out locally, ask restaurants for old pots and pans and utensils, and check charity shops for affordable materials. Remember, Focus on experiences and not on the limited resources that you might think you have. Creativity, curiosity, and problem solving don't rely on expensive equipment. Often, very simple materials are enough to spark deep learning. So how do we make embracing a pedagogy of nature safe enough without removing the richness? If we try to make nature play completely risk-free, we actually strip away the very qualities that make it so powerful. The uncertainty, the challenge, and the opportunities for children to truly test themselves. Take, for example, a child balancing on a log. Yes, we know they might slip, but if we never allow them to climb, to balance, or stretch their physical limits, they miss out on that vital learning. So our role as educators is not to prevent the log climbing, but to ask, what makes this activity safe enough? Is it the log stable? Is the ground surface forgiving if they do fall? Are we close enough to step in if needed, but far enough to let them try on their own? This is what safe enough looks like. It's not about eliminating every risk, but about creating thoughtful conditions that protect children while preserving their richness of their exploration. It's about trusting them to learn while holding a responsibility of care. Safety in early childhood settings does not mean removing all risk. Instead, as the Shield to Practice Guide reminds us, safety is not the absence of risk, it is the presence of care, preparation, and thoughtful boundaries. So through adventurous play, educators show children how to engage with risk responsibly. Children learn practical safety skills through understanding boundaries, handling tools or fire with care, and recognizing potential hazards. Emotional resilience, by managing excitement and understanding or uncertainty in safe, supported ways. Social responsibility, by looking out for themselves and one another, and sharing the space respectfully and contributing to a caring community. Inclusion in action, where every child, regardless of their ability or background, is given opportunities to participate meaningfully, with adaptations where needed, so that no child is left out of these rich learning experiences. We know when safety is framed through care and preparation rather than restriction, children hold on to their natural curiosity and wonder. The Shield to Practice Guide suggests that settings with sufficient outdoor space may consider creating a fire pit or a fire circle. A fire pit provides a safe, designated area for a live fire, often contained in a metal pot, with seating such as logs or benches arranged at a safe distance. A fire circle, then, is more than just a physical space. It becomes a communal hub for storytelling, singing, discussion, and sharing food. In a safe, supervised setting, children experience the warmth and atmosphere of a fire while developing social skills and a deeper connection to nature. To make experiences safe enough without losing their richness, we can draw on the following practices. Daily risk assessments. So each morning, assess the environment. Assess the conditions, see if they've changed. Has the weather changed, the resources, or how the children use the space? A daily risk assessment helps us to prepare thoughtfully, so exploration remains safe without being restricted. Risk-benefit assessments. So weigh up potential hazards against learning opportunities. We know, yes, that mud may mean dirty clothes, but it also brings creativity and rich sensory exploration. So manage the risk, don't stop the experience. Scaffolding risk awareness. So instead of removing sticks because they might be unsafe, maybe we could model how to carry them, highlight the safe distances, and encourage children to make their own judgments. Having clear but flexible boundaries provide clarity, not restriction, giving children confidence to be able to explore safely. Remember, trusting children's competence. Allow children to climb, to carry or to dig, showing that their decisions matter and they are capable risk managers. So by applying these practices, we can create environments that are safe enough, allowing children to explore, to make mistakes, and to grow. By balancing safety and freedom, we protect the richness of exploration, and we unlock the key benefits of a pedagogy of nature. Some of the key takeaways from tonight's webinar are that a pedagogy of nature encourages children to explore, to investigate, and to connect with the natural world. It supports key developmental skills such as resilience, problem solving, confidence, and joy in learning. Nature should be central, not optional. It should be an integral part of everyday learning and development. The educator and the inclusion coordinator prepare, scaffold, observe, and make sure all children can participate. Simple outdoor activities can be engaging, rich, and accessible, even with limited space and resources. Challenges like weather can be overcome with planning and creativity. And remember, safety is about care and preparation, not avoiding at all risk. So as we come to the close of our webinar, let's take a moment to pause and reflect. When children know and connect with nature, they learn to understand it. Understanding leads to caring, and caring leads to protection. So the question is, if our children don't care, then who will? I'd like to invite you now to think about some ideas or strategies from this evening's webinar that you can take back to your setting to help children to connect with nature.